this video, let's take a look at pictures of this elephant calf and discuss the lens and camera settings that I used to click this gentle giant. I used a third generation Canon 70-200mm IS lens to click these pictures. And even though I had the option to use a very wide aperture, 2.8, I still narrowed down the aperture by 2 stops to 5.6 to get more texture and details in the background. This video isn't over yet. I have plenty more useful tips to share with you that will help improve your photography. I'd also love to hear your questions, thoughts, or observations. I make sure to read and reply to every comment. If you leave it to your camera to decide where your focus should be, it's highly unlikely that the camera will nail focus on the eye of your subject. So that's why I set my autofocus area to single point and maneuver that point to the eye of my subject. If you don't know how to set your autofocus area to single point, please leave a comment and I'll be happy to help you. You can also learn wildlife photography from me directly through video calls. This way, you'll get the individual attention that you need to tackle your specific challenges. Please have a look at my website for more information. Very often, a focal length of 400mm is not enough to click birds, especially small birds, considering how difficult it is to get closer to them. So you're not going to be able to fill the frame with a 400mm lens. That's the reason I like to have that little extra reach that a 500mm lens gives me. Nikon has a 200-500 lens that I've used a lot, and it's a pretty good lens. I like it. Sony also has a 200-600. However, very often when a larger animal is closer to me, I want that 70-100 focal length. I prefer to carry two separate camera bodies with two separate lenses. I have a 70-200 lens on one camera and a 500 prime lens on the other, because that way, if an elephant or a tiger or a leopard comes rather close to me, I can click them with the 70-200mm lens. For example, I clicked these pictures of this leopard at Jalana, which is in the state of Rajasthan, with a 70-200mm lens. If I only had a 500mm lens, the image would have been too cropped. I might have only been able to fit the head or just a portion of the head of the leopard in the frame. I discuss more about lenses in my book, Wildlife Photography Explained. Please check out the link in the description. This is the world famous Jim Corbett National Park in India, and it was the month of May. And I believe during that time, in the peak summer, elephants are on their move across from India to Nepal, and they are passing this elephant corridor in Jim Corbett, and we were very lucky to have elephant sightings on almost each and every one of our safaris. When you're photographing wildlife in India, very often you're going to be in dusty conditions and places with a lot of moisture, and it makes sense to use a UV filter to protect the front element from dust, scratches, and moisture from entering your lens. But when you select a filter, make sure you choose and you buy a top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art filter rather than going for a cheaper one, because a cheap filter will completely ruin your pictures. It will affect the sharpness and the colors and completely ruin all your pictures. What's the point in having an expensive car with ordinary tires? Now you have a better understanding of wildlife photography, which will help you to click more impressive pictures. Keep building on your knowledge by watching this next video, where I show you how I took pictures of these swallows on a cold, foggy winter morning in India.